Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah, not Hashem, not Yahweh, Haveh, Vaveh. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha, not Jesus Christos. It's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elder, bishop, and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all the Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the occupants, pushing this truth and believing this truth, or believing this truth and pushing this truth toward the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the whole elect. Shalom to the Akwath will listen learning. If you sus will listen learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Atlanta, Camp Prophet of Doom, coming into another lesson in truth, fact, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord willing, to be edified. So, this lesson will be the so-called, the self-proclaimed white man had a 500-year head start, and now they playing catch-up. Lord willing, to be edified. And this is a video I saw years ago from Elder Manat Zakbar. And I did a couple lessons on it. But I said I'm going to do a fresh lesson on this because now, hey, these devils, the self-proclaimed so-called white man is losing, man. They are losing it. And the 500-year head start that these Edomites had, the elites are now Amalek, with the chief house of the so-called white man, those that control all the resources. They are now leaving their fellow self-proclaimed white man behind. They leaving them behind, man. All these self-proclaimed white people that's on TikTok and YouTube and any other platform that's complaining because they are losing generational wealth and white privilege that they once had. The elites, it's because of the elites, which is their own people. Every nation cares for their people, man. Every other nation outside of the so-called white man care about their nation, their people, man. It's the so-called white man who doesn't care about his own people. Now, in this video, it shows you the wealth gap that the so-called white man, that self-proclaimed white man had since they came and conquered America, man. So check this out. Let me turn this volume down. So see, since 1492, the so-called white man been running this wealth gap race. Now, what you see here, these other two men, young teenagers, that's at the line, is the so-called Negro and the so-called Puerto Rican, which the so-called Negro represents the southern kingdom of Israel, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The so-called Puerto Rican, you see on the left, represents the northern kingdom of Israel. And these 12 tribes of Israel have been split since the time of Solomon. When you go back to 1 Kings 11, because of Solomon, in his old age, he started to set up altars to idol worship the 300 concubine women he had, which was heathen women. Those 300 women, concubines that Solomon had, was of heathen women. And he had 700 princesses that was from the 12 tribes of Israel. But those 300 women, he started to worship their idols, their false gods. So the kingdom was split during the time of Solomon. Now, this is Judah and Ephraim at the line. Let's run this back. The so-called white man started running the race 1792. Let's play it again. So you see, it got the so-called white man there, right? And the so-called white woman, right? Now, when you look at history, they brought the so-called white woman in because she was the so-called white woman was the first woman that was on the plantation when they started that. They want to call it women's liberation, and it was the elites that did that. That was the downfall. That was another downfall. That was a further downfall of the so-called white man's kingdom when women started to go to the plantations, to the workforce. Check it out. They building generational wealth.
Bye-bye.
So, in 1964, this when Judah and Ephraim, the 12 tribes of Israel, was allowed to enter into the race, the wealth disparity race. And when they did, they put stumbling blocks in front of you. And this is why we was going to last night in Psalms 64, right? It said he searched out iniquities. He accomplished a diligent search. These devils, the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man, he set stumbling blocks for you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. He set stumbling blocks for you, man. They've been searching out iniquities. They've been figuring out how to destroy you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. With every aspect of life. And then, you know, the brother Dumb Walker mentioned it about 2 months ago, a month or two ago. Hey, the so-called white man has weaponized everything as targets to us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Everything is a weapon now, aimed at the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. See? Stumbling block. Discrimination. See the stumbling blocks? They purposely done this, man. School to prison pipeline. Yeah. They purposely done these things. that? Connection. Privileges. See it? Generational wealth and white privilege. This is why Jake, they have joined themselves to falsehood, man. Of the so-called white man. And see, the so-called white woman got in the race. It was first the so-called white woman that had pants for women, and then they pushed it to the southern and northern kingdom, to the 12 tribes of Israelite women, the 12 tribes of Israel women. It was the so-called white woman that got on the workforce first. Then they said to the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, Haitian women, now you can join. And that's why I tell you in Isaiah 24, the Lord say, when he turned the earth upside down and scattered abroad the Israelites, he said, as is the master, so is the servant. As is the handmaid, so is the mistress. So now, as the buyer to the seller, right? The user, the lender, right? The borrower, as it said in Proverbs, the borrower is servant to the lender, right? It's the so-called white man that own the banks. This is the thing that happened to so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. The Lord let the so-called white man do these things, man. But now, that 500-year head start that the so-called white man had, they losing now. But I want to deal with, man, it's going down out here, man. I want to deal with Psalms, right? Because in Psalm 64, what we just saw in this movie, in this video clip, is the so-called white man shooting arrows at you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, man. Them stumbling blocks, the snares, the traps that the devil set. But like Elder Malcolm said last week, now all that 500 years of that 500 year head start that the so-called white man had, they losing now, man. Now they playing catch up. Now them devils playing catch up, man. They're going down out here, man. Bear with me here. Them devils playing catch up now, man. What I'm gonna do is just quote these scriptures. I ain't gonna try to read nothing. I really just want to show that video. Matter of fact, that's what I do. I just keep this on deck. Just quote the precepts, man. Hey, them devils been shooting at us, man, secretly. And they taught Jake how to do it, man. That's why I tell you in Jeremiah 5:26 that the Lord say his people have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. Because they learned from the so-called white man. But yeah, I want to run this back, man. Because in this race, it hasn't been a fair race. It ain't supposed to. This is the so-called white man's kingdom. Job 9:24, it reads, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? The so-called white man, the Lord gave the so-called white man this rulership, man. Hey, in the kingdom of heaven, it ain't gonna be fair in the kingdom of heaven either, man. It's gonna be one-sided. It's gonna be the rulership under our Lord and Savior, our big brother Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly called Jesus. Hey, it's gonna be the rulership for the Hebrew Israelites, man. Hey, and it ain't gonna be fair in the eyes of the so-called white man. It ain't gonna be fair when we get in the kingdom, man. Hey, but the Lord gave this devil, this is his rulership. And to tell you in Hebrews, Hebrews 12 and 20, I think it is. Hebrews 11 and 20, it reads that Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come, which is their rulerships. Esau got his rulership first, and Jacob gonna get his last. That's why I tell you, 2 6 and 9. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followers. See, when you go to Genesis 27, the so-called white man, hey, he got his blessing last. Jacob got the blessing, but Esau got the rule first. The so-called white man got the last blessing, but he got the first rulership. That's how cold Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is. The so-called white man got the last blessing in Genesis 27, but he got the first rulership. And the Lord showed the so-called white man favor. Hey, it tell you in Wisdom of Solomon 12 that the Lord is gracious unto all. So he showed the so-called white man favor 3 times, man. With the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and this last empire that we're living in now, which is that last stronghold, the last great white hope. And every time the so-called white man ruled the earth, they destroyed themselves, man. Because the Lord didn't make the so-called white man righteous. The Lord didn't make them righteous rulers. They wasn't made to rule the earth in righteousness. It tell you in Proverbs 29, was that 29 and 19? Let's see if I can get that. Let's go look at this real quick. Hey, them devils been shooting at us. Psalm 64. Them devils been shooting at us for the longest. And that video show you that, man. Show you how wicked they is by setting a stumbling block. But it's okay. They supposed to. Proverbs 29 and 12 it reads. Where is it? Yeah. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. See? This is the rulership of the so-called white man. If the ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. And it tell you in Job 13 and 4 that they are forgers of lies, that they are physicians of no value, man. He messed up the earth every time the Lord gave it to him. They messed their own rulership up, man, through monetary means. The scripture tell you that he that is greedy of gain. He that is greedy of gain. I was finna say, no, that ain't in this chapter. Where is it? See if I can go to it. What's that? Proverbs 11. Let's see if I can go to this. Right here, Proverbs 11:29. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart. Right? There's one to tell you that he that is greedy of gain. I forget where it's at right off. Let's go to this one. In Proverbs 31. I think it is 31 and 20. Let's see. No, 30 and 20. Proverbs 30 and 21. For 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 it cannot bear. For a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat. See, the so-called white man is a servant that's reigning, man. This is a servant that's ruling the earth, man. He's not a righteous king. The Lord didn't send him up to be a righteous king. So what he did to so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians in Psalm 64, he's supposed to did that, man. I'm thinking about this precept too. Proverbs 13 and 11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. See, the so-called white man, he got his labor, he got his wealth by what? Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. I'm thinking of the other one, man. He that is greedy of gain. Let me go to Google. Proverbs 15, that's it. Proverbs 15 and 27. It reads, see it? He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. See, this man is greedy of gains, man. This is how they able to maintain that bag, man. That's why I tell you that in James 5, the Lord said, his garments are moth-eaten, his gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against them, man. This devil now is taking the food out of the mouths of the average so-called white people. And all these so-called white people that's on YouTube and TikTok and any other platform that's complaining, they were the same ones that was hanging Jake in the 16, 17, and 1800s, man. And dragging Jake behind pickup trucks, man. These are the same ones that's complaining now. Because the elites is taking them back that generational wealth and white privilege. See, that them connections that the average so-called white person had that you shop with at the Walmart or the Costco's or the BJ's or the Whole Foods, right? That you work with, they losing it, man. They losing it. Then I'm going to tell you the lesson, as Elder Malcolm said last week, man, that 500-year head start that the so-called white man had, these devils is not playing catch up, man. And the elites, they living in fear, man. It tell you that in Job 15. The elites is living in fear, man. Job 15, Jeremiah 50, what is that, 43? Yeah, a dreadful sound is in their ears now, man. What's that, Job 21? We was reading last night. Who shall declare his way to his face? Hey, the elites is living in fear, and the regular Edomite, the elites of the so-called white man is living in fear, and the rest of the Edomite, the so-called white people, they living in damn hunger, man. They living in hunger and greed. They terrified too in a different way from the elites. The elites got all the riches, but they living in fear. And the average so-called white person, they don't know what they gonna do. Hey, so-called, Allah wa hawa la Yahweh ba'ashim yawashah ba'ashim rikah quadash. Hey, cause Yahweh ba'ashim yawashah got all these devils. Hey, whether you got the bag or not, they losing it. Let me prove it to you. We was reading this last night in Job 21. These devils is losing it, man. All that generational wealth these devils got, hey, they playing catch up now. In Job 21, verse 20, Job 21 and 23, it reads, one dieth in his full strength, right? One dieth in his full strength, being wholly at ease and quiet. That was the elites, right? David Rockefeller died. Evelyn Rothschild died. Jacob Rothschild died. Henry Kissinger died. Stephen Hawkins died, right? One died in full strength, being wholly at ease and quiet. His breasts are full of milk, and his bones are moistened with marrow, right? They had it all, man. The best life, even though Steve Hawkins was suffering, then he was rich. And another dieth in the bitterness of his soul. That's the one you see on TikTok not crying. The average self-proclaimed white man that's crying on TikTok and YouTube. Another dieth in the bitterness of his soul, and never eateth with pleasure. They shall lie down alike in the dust, and the worms shall cover them. So it don't matter if you had a 500 head start, 500-year head start, or you now playing catch up as a self-proclaimed white man. All of you going to the same place. Slavery, boys. All you boys and girls, self-proclaimed white man and white woman, you all going in slavery. No matter. But that 500-year head start that they had, they now playing catch up, man. They now playing catch up. That Psalm 64 explained to you how these devils set up traps, laid snares for Jake, right? Let's get this one. In Psalms 10, let's read this. This is Psalms 10 and 7. This Psalms 10 and 5. It reads, his ways, let's read 4. Matter of fact, man, this is Psalms 10 and 1. It reads, why standest thou far off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. The poor is you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Asians. Right? Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. And they will. We're watching it happen because his kingdom is falling, man. The elites is in hiding. And as the Edomite, the self-proclaimed white man told me from the plantation, he said, man, the elites been really hiding since 1920, since the crash of 29, man. They've been hiding. Okay? It reads, for the wicked boasteth of his heart desire, and blesseth the covetous, because he's a covetous man, whom Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. All their ways, continually. It says in Psalm 64, thy judgments are far above out of his sight, because the Lord put a hedge around them. Because there's a special judgment coming to the so-called white man. The Lord put a hedge around the self-proclaimed white man to not be touched, because the Lord got a special judgment for the wicked of the earth, which is the self-proclaimed white man. It reads, as for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. As it tells you in Daniel 7, his stout, right? They got a look that's more stout than their fellows. So that's America to all the other allies. And this is why America gonna be left alone. Ain't gonna be destroyed. Obadiah 1 and 7. Revelation 17, verse 16, man. Because the look that America has is a look that's, man, completely opposite of his allies. He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved. Like it said in Isaiah 47 and Isaiah, Revelations 18. That she ain't gonna be no widow. She gonna be a queen forever, right? And I said Isaiah 43 last night. It's Isaiah 47 and 3. So lock you on that. I was moving too fast. When Yahweh shall say he would not meet the Edomites as a man. He would not, the Lord, when he returned, he would not meet the self-proclaimed white man as a man. He coming as an angelic power. And I just thought about it just now that I said Isaiah 43 and 3. But it's Isaiah 47 and 3. Or maybe I did say, I don't remember. It just hit me just now to think about it. Anyway, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. That's America's look, being more stout than their fellows in Daniel 7. He hath said in his heart, which is his mind, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. See, this goes into Isaiah 47 and Revelation 18, when America, Babylon the Great, boasting as being a queen forever. They will never see widowhood. It reads, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. Hey, it said he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. He got centurions, the modern day cops, is everywhere in the villages, man. That's one of the ways He sit in the lurking place of the villages. The villages is the favelas, the barrios, and the ghettos where you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians live at, man. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. Through his chemtrails, GMO food, contaminated waters, putting guns in the earth. Jake got a gun, but he don't got no job or a car. But a nigga got a Draco, AK-47, AR-15s, 223s, and all these other guns. But niggas don't got no job, or niggas don't got no car. But they got guns though. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in secret doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privy, set against the poor. See? Why? Because they envy us, man. The poor is your so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Because I tell you in Ezekiel 35 that the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man, he envy you Hebrew Israelites, man. He lieth and waits secretly as a lion in his den. Like it say in, what's that, 1 Peter 5 and 8? As a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour, man. He lieth and wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth and wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. See? He set snares and traps. He croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. This is what the so-called white man do, man. And now, and the apostles been saying this for years, they're going to use your black celebrity leaders to draw you in. Like I say here, he croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. They use Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackass, Martin Lucifer Queen. Hey, that you may fall by the strong ones, man. We were talking about it last night. I mentioned it a lot, man. They use this nigga Bill Russell. They use that nigga Walter Payton to tell you, hey, to get back to normal, take the jab. They use John Legend, Tyra Banks. They use Monica, right? Juvenile and Mia X. Jab that thing up, right? They use your celebrities, man. He croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. This is what the so-called white man do, man. He's a crafty bastard, man. This is what he do. This is what he has done, man. This is Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. But he's supposed to, because the earth was given to him, man. Hey, through his laws, his policies, his statutes, his penal codes, this is the other way. They destroyed you jakes, man. Right? Tuskegee experiments,